How's it going, everybody? JP here once again, bringing you guys another episode of a double shot of horror. This is episode number 5, where we are talking home invasion films with Jeremy, aka NES Ruler 22. You can
What
check him out on
is going
YouTube.
on? What is going on, my favorite Pee Wee hating Mexican?
He is also the co-host of 22 Shots of Moods and Horror, along with myself. And then, of course, we have Rich from thedevilseyes.com back as always. So, Jeremy, how is your summer going, man?
Pretty solid. I've actually been watching a lot of movies lately, which is kind of funny now that we're not doing the podcast.
Yeah, right?
No, I haven't. I never watch any fucking movies when we're doing the show, but now that we're not doing the show, but I've been cataloging, so I should be able to talk about some of them when we get to the show. I wish we were doing the show. There's a lot of interesting news that's been going on
I know
lately. I think some
tons
people
of news.
like.
Tons of news.
Yeah. But I've been doing, pretty solid, same old shit, different day. What about you?
I'm doing good besides work. It's really kicking my ass.
Yeah.
And, just constant annoyance at work right now. Hopefully
Why's
it goes away
that?
soon. Different problems every day.
Just because you're the manager now, just because
Supervisor. Yeah,
supervisor.
you're like responsible for like everything that everybody does, so it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not too bad because I don't have to do nearly as much stuff as I used to.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully, it'll get boosted up again sooner or later.
Yeah,
You stick with it.
So I shout out your YouTube. You do updates and stuff like that, of course. Um,
I would assume people would know me who's ever listening to the show. I
yeah,
would hope
probably.
so. I would hope so.
But
But I also write reviews over on Rich's site,
that is true.
thedevilseyes.com. I'm working on a couple new ones right now. I'm going to be writing one on the film, what is it? It's either 7 or 13. Why am I having a fucking mental? It's 7 days, right? It's a Russian, not a Russian, why am I having a mental block right now?
Norwegian,
No, what country is freaking Inside from?
France.
Yeah, I'm doing freaking, it's a French, extreme film, so
Is it who put it out?
IFC.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, it's called
you know,
7 Days. So.
we normally ask the guests, 5 of their favorite horror movies. I'm pretty sure you've said at least 5 before, but just really quickly, what are some of your favorites?
Of course, Child's Play. Hobo with a Shotgun. What else? Inside, of course. We just talked
Damn,
about.
I guess I really need to see Inside.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. People on the stairs a little bit. It's kind of hard. I wish I had that list that we made when we did our first episode.
Yeah.
But I watch so many movies, so it's so hard to pick a list. But
Child's Play is your
Child's
favorite, though.
yeah, Child's Play is my favorite film, and then of course, close to that, is all the other classics that everyone else talks about all the time.
Yeah. So, Rich, what do you got going on over on Rabbit and Red and thedevilseyes.com?
Not too much. Last week we had, the episode's still technically new. Tony Timpone from Fangoria stopped by. News-wise, man, it's been kind of slow. I've actually just been writing reviews of what I've watched on Netflix and stuff like that. Because there's really been no, everyday horror news to write about.
Yeah, it's kind of been a little slowdown. It was the past couple months have been just big news after big news. It seems like at least if it isn't big news, there was something like the Nightbreed set that was kind of like controversial and stuff. There was a lot of different things going on. So how'd that interview go, man?
Pretty good. It went good. I wanted to get more into the journalistic side of writing about horror and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I did want to get his thoughts and stuff on Horror Hound and Rue Morgue, because their new editor he jumped ship from Rue Morgue and went over to Fangoria. But I wasn't really trying to bait him into I wanted him to say negative shit or anything. But I wanted to see what his actual thoughts were. And I don't know. He says he doesn't read them, and he really didn't have any thoughts on, any other horror publications, that was like my only complaint about it. Other than that, man, I love talking to that dude. He was a great guy. Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why I fucking spend all day talking about horror movies to other people.
Mm.
But just, I don't know, I would have liked to hear him say, well, fuck them or something, just come on, just say whatever you want to say. It's okay.
Yeah, so a little bit of a tough interview then, or?
No, I just would have liked to got a bigger answer out of him about that. But other than that, dude, he fires off his answers right back. And then I try to mix it up, ask him questions that no one else asks him. So it's kind of like a totally different type of interview where we really didn't talk like, what about this genre? What about that? It was more like, well, why do you want to write about horror movies? And, what are your earliest memories?
How long was he part of Fangoria?
Since 85, and he's still part of Fangoria. He heads up the DVD, what would you call that, where you go out and get titles and stuff? I'm blanking on the acquisitions.
Yeah.
He does like that end of it. And
so
then he's also...
So like the Fangoria Presents line, like...
Yes.
Wait,
exactly.
So he's responsible for that garbage?
Yeah.
Hey, not Inhuman Resources.
No,
not
Inhuman
garbage,
Resources
JP.
was good.
Yes.
But the good thing is that he's trying to get the Fangoria Dread Time stories, the radio plays that they used to do back in 2012.
Yeah.
He's trying to turn that into a television series.
And what else is new?
And if that takes off, man, that would be fucking good. But the only place I could see picking that up would be FearNet, and they're done at the end of the year.
Well,
what about Chiller? Or even El Rey? El Rey is playing a double feature of Motel Hell and The Burning tonight. I mean, that's a cool channel, right? I mean,
why can't it just be like an online type of thing, like on Hulu or Netflix?
Well, that is the future.
Now that we are in that day and age, so
look at House of Cards. That's like the biggest TV show ever right now. It's on Netflix.
It's still
that's the one Netflix show I don't watch. I watch Lilyhammer, Orange is the New Black, and what's the Eli Roth one?
Hemlock Grove.
Yeah.
Which is coming to Blu-ray courtesy of Scream Factory.
Yeah, I saw that.
I wish their first TV show was Freddy's Nightmares, but that will probably never happen.
No.
So I guess their first TV show is going to be Hemlock Grove.
I would assume New Line owns the rights. I don't think they've done anything
Warner
with
Brothers.
Warner Brothers?
Yes.
Well, yeah, Warner Brothers owns New Line now.
Yeah.
So.
I miss New Line, like the old New Line logo.
Yeah, when it was independent, when it was in fucking indie house.
Yeah.
That was a good, film production company.
They released a lot of stuff. They released all the Austin Powers and all the Dumb and Dumbers, and they released a lot of stuff.
And all the Freddies.
And all the Freddies.
And I mean, the way they kind of bullied Bob Shea out of there, like, I really don't like that. Like, because, I mean, that was his company, and, like, say what you want about him, like, I'm always wanting to be in the Nightmare movies and shit, which I don't really have a problem with that. That dude really fucking loved what he did. And it just sucks
if you
to see him get
producing the Nightmare
out.
movies, wouldn't you want to be in them?
Oh, exactly. Like, I would have been like, Wes, let me do this scene. Let me be in the background. Well, let me say this.
Speaking of backgrounds, when we talk about Mother's Day, that's going to be funny.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I mean, home invasion films. Do you guys personally like them?
Yes.
Well, they have to be done right.
Yeah, which is...
If they're done shitty, you're going to have a shitty movie.
Yeah. See, when we started this topic, you know what I totally forgot? I was like, wonder why we didn't pick Funny Games.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
There is two versions. There's the foreign version, and then there's the United States version. But they were both written and directed by the exact same guy.
Well, actually, Jeremy was wondering why we didn't pick Inside.
Yep.
Okay, I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
which
man.
I hear is one of the best home invasion films.
That's my favorite home invasion film.
See, me and JP were talking about this last week in the 90s, like where a title couldn't throw you off. Nothing could throw you off. If it was on TV, you had to watch it. Mm-hmm. Well, now, I don't know. I hear the title outside or what inside,
Inside, yeah.
and I'm just like, maybe. Like I don't know. I'll get around to
Well,
it.
the thing about Inside is I've literally never heard somebody give it a bad rep. Never
It's
once.
fucking awesome.
And I've
It's
heard a lot of people talk about it.
What year did that come out?
2005,
I think it's
2007.
26. Let me see.
And it's a home invasion.
Yeah, it's a French film.
French. 2008.
I hear it's really gory.
It is. It's amazing.
Um, yeah, I definitely have got to check that out. The sad thing is, it's kind of a little bit out of print, but you can still grab it for $10 or so if you find it for the right price. Even
Would
Would you
But for
count
you-
Martyrs as a home invasion film?
I've never
Mhm.
seen Martyrs, but that's part of the French New Wave stuff, like Martyrs, Inside, High Tension. Those were
You're
all
not
like
really
the same
missing anything
boat.
by not seeing Martyrs because the first half is like super awesome,
That
and then
movie's
the
overrated.
second half is like terrible. It's
movie's
like somebody
overrated.
was like, I got an idea for two separate movies, but I don't have enough money, so I'm just gonna smash them together. And it's like
Mhm.
one is super fucking good and the other one's super bad.
So besides the two movies we're talking about tonight, do you have any other home invasion films that like really stand out as really good?
In Their Skin, just
I haven't
released by
seen that
IFC
either.
Midnight. I think it's a British film. Um, it's actually it's a pretty fucked up one. It's actually really, really, really solid. It's one of the better IFC films. It's one of the better home invasion movies I've seen. I mean, it doesn't only include adults; kids get into it a little bit. So it's kind of a refreshing thing to take to see, kids, be used in a home invasion type of setting. Because there's so many home invasion films, and it's hard to find something actually like original and interesting to watch. So, anything fresh and interesting is a plus for me when it comes to home invasion movies.
Yeah, totally. And one that comes to mind is kind of a newer one, which is Your Next. I really thought that was a great home invasion film.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was one of my favorites of the year, made my top 10.
I like James Bressick's Hate Crime.
You know what?
Not,
That one
not
I've
a lot
heard
of people
lot
got
about,
to
but
see that.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's really fucking good. That's actually how we met was over that film. Because he had asked me to review something else, and I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Like, I didn't know how to review it or even where to put it in the site. And he's like, well, I have this other one I just finished. He's like, you want to check it out? It's called Hate Crime. And, dude, it's fucking good, man. Like, it makes sense, like, why it's being recorded and everything, how it plays out. And it's like some, like, actual real-life type shit. Like, the way it plays out is, like, totally real. Everything's so believable. You would believe this happened.
Of course, you got The Collector, which is a pretty damn
Yeah.
solid one.
Even the sequel's okay. It's
Yeah.
not bad. It's not that good, but it's okay.
I
You kind
really like part 2 because of the ending. Like,
I
I
like the
really
begin-
want
I
to
like
see
the
where
beginning,
part
too.
3 goes.
Yeah, I like the beginning of the second one too.
Yeah, that is some good fucking kills.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have, it's kind of more of a slasher, but it's kind of home invasion also, and that's Black Christmas.
Which we talked about on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
First
one
slasher.
that I didn't really
Yeah, that's
care for.
like a mashup genre. Type.
Yeah. It doesn't really play on, like, the home invasion angle, like the fear of somebody invading your home, which is, like, I think a lot of the, ones that we've mentioned earlier kind of play on that a lot.
That's more. I'd say I don't know if I could count because if you count Black Christmas, then
You have to
kinda
count Halloween.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because you have to count Halloween because he technically invades other homes that aren't his.
True, but I think it's
And-
more about the single house that is
But
just
that house was his to begin with.
yeah.
And Black Christmas, I mean, it's technically his house.
Yeah, of course there's the classic Home Alone.
Yeah, that is a really good home invasion movie.
The Purge was pretty bad.
I'm curious about I'm gonna see it next week just cause You don't see many.
The sequel kind of looks pretty good. Like at first, I was like really turned off by that first trailer. I was like, I don't know about this one. But then after seeing newer trailers, I kind of looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'll go next Friday to see it just because, there hasn't been any fucking horror, smart theatrical horror film so far in 2014. Really.
Yeah,
they've all been possession films. Like the one that came out last Friday, whatever the fuck it's called, is
I'm sick of
possession film. Oh, don't even get me started.
I've been sick of possession films
since
forever.
The Exorcist.
Yeah. I've never really been, unless we're talking like demonic possession, like Night of the Demons or something, like where it's just like, insane.
Yeah, that's good possession.
Yeah. The whole
because it's
exorcism
just like so
shit,
over the top.
I'm done with the exorcism shit, dude. Adam Green's making one. I'll of course see that, but I'm not too excited about that.
Deliver
that
us
has
from
me really
evil.
torn.
That's what it's called.
Because I'm like, I gotta see it because it's Adam Green. But at the same time, I'm like, I really wish this was fucking Killer Pizza and not Possession.
I do too, man. I really do. So yeah, what do you guys think of the actual home invasion as being a fear? Does it scare you? Like, is that something that gets to you? The idea of somebody breaking into your home and, for whatever reason? Is it something that kind of, touches any of you guys?
Not me.
Not really.
Yeah, see, me neither. And
I think if somebody would break into your house, they'd just kill you and steal your shit.
they
I don't think they would like.
I'll kill them.
You know what I?
That's the way I always thought about. Like, dude, I have fucking so many knives and shit. Like, I always have a weapon within reach.
Yeah.
And that is because of an irrational fear of somebody sneaking up behind me to try and kill me.
Yeah, but that it really doesn't. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about the strangers, but
yeah. So I mean,
not really.
Yeah, home invasion. I like the films when they're done right, but it's not something that actually. Because I know a lot of people who like home invasion are really terrified. I know Rob G is somebody who's like really terrified of like the idea of home invasion. And I've heard him talk about it before, like where it really like bugs him, like he's actually like fearful of it. But me, no. I mean, like I don't know if it's from where I was raised. I'm not really afraid that like who the hell's gonna come and like try to.
Yeah, I think that's our area.
Yeah,
I'm from Chicago, so shit always. I think 9 people got killed this weekend and 40 people got shot just this 4th of July weekend here.
That's pretty
fucking insane. Yeah, but where I'm at, I'm usually not too worried about it, so that's why it really doesn't freak me out. But I think if you live in no offense, Danny, if you live in like Detroit or something, and
Danny.
Danny lives in Detroit.
I think so.
Yeah.
See, I'm more scared of living out in the middle of nowhere than in the city because I'm used to the city life, and somebody ever trying to get into my house there while I'm there, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it would happen. Most people who break into shit usually wait till you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never see anybody break in when it's like when you're sleeping because it's like they don't want to deal with you. They just want to steal your shit and get out.
But out in the middle of nowhere, it's like, man, dude could just fucking be a cannibal who lives out in the middle of the fucking woods, and it's just like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go kill these people 10 miles down the road. And I'm going to play with their newfangled electronics that I don't know how to work.
This one time, I was drinking with a friend on New Year's. It was like at a party, but we was in a area where I was unfamiliar with. And he just so happened to be at his cousin's house, which was right up the street. And I was at a party, and I was like, holy crap, like, how'd we end up in the same place, like, on the same street? So he came down to our party, got really drunk, was, like, chugging vodka. And then I went to walk him home, and all of a sudden, he just took off his shirt and was, like, just started running up the road. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to chase him. I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to get lost out here. I don't know where I am. I'm not going to chase him. So I just went back inside. Turns out, he walked in the basement of some stranger's house and passed out on the floor. He thought he was at his cousin's house or whatever family member he's with.
Oh,
and
that was
they
your
came
friend?
in the morning. Wait, what?
That was your friend. that
Wait,
did that.
yeah, what? Why did
Wasn't
it?
that a couple years ago?
Yeah, but what? How would you know
Wasn't
about
it
it?
in the newspaper?
I I don't know. It could have been. I don't know.
It was in the newspaper, dude. Because I was like, how the fuck did this person wind up in somebody else's basement?
Yeah, he was like 19 or something, and just was sleeping on their floor, and
That's
this couple
funny.
came down in the basement and was like flipping out, and he woke up and he didn't know what was going on, man, and he was like real scared, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing in here?"
Just trying to sleep, man. Be cool. That's
Yeah.
funny.
So, kind of home invasion. That's my home invasion story. So yeah, The Strangers. Let's get into that one. Of course, it came out in the year 2008. It follows a young couple who are staying in a isolated vacation home, and they are terrorized by three unknown assailants. And of course, there is some kind of like backstory that is sprinkled throughout, where this couple, the male proposed to the female, and she turned him down. So it's like a really depressing vibe at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple movie. I mean, that is it. There's three strangers who show up to their house and home invade them and
Oh, man.
terrorize them.
This movie at the time, probably from around 2008 until 2012 or 13, was the scariest movie I've ever seen. Like, I remember seeing this in theaters. Fuck, what was that? 6 years ago already? No, longer than that. Yeah, 6 years
Longer than
ago.
that.
Well, 2008 is 14, so that was 6 years ago. So let's see, I was 14, and this is one of the only movies I've seen in theaters that it scared the shit out of me, to be completely honest. It's just edited in a certain way that it's really, really awesome on building suspense, and you know I don't know, it just scared the crap out of me.
You're absolutely right on the suspense thing.
Yeah.
This is more of the fear of home invasion coming through, more so than Mother's Day. This one is about the terror of just not having any control, and people just invading your comfort zone and terrorizing you. I think that The Strangers is more. To me, it feels kind of like a slow burn, even though there's always kind of something happening, but
Mhm.
it still just feels more about the moments of fear, and it's not so much about the action of the terrorizing and stuff.
It's the anticipation of them trying to get in and like actually get physical hold of you. And
Mhm.
I honestly, I would say this movie did for home invasion films what Blair Witch did for found footage.
Wow. I kind of agree with that statement. You can probably tell from my opening statement. I fucking love this film, to be completely honest.
Yeah, when this came out, I really loved it, and especially it did that thing where it was like based on fucking actual
Yeah.
events.
Yeah, which is
And then that ending and shit, and just think like, wow, somebody really went through that. Like that is real.
So I remember when this film came out. I remember the marketing being really good for this one. Like I remember the first moment I seen the trailer, and it's like, why are you doing this? And it's like, because you were home.
That's the best line ever.
Yes, yes,
Like ever. That is the best fucking line.
yeah, because you were home. It's just chilling, right? I mean, I remember the trailer sitting there, and it was the first time that it popped on. I can't remember exactly how it started, but I know that it immediately grabbed my attention. Me and my friend were just sitting there, like, rubbing snuff or something back in the day, like, dreading school the next day or some shit. And we're just sitting there, and that trailer came on. I was like, hold up, dude. Because, I was a huge horror fan, and I was like, I seen something, I didn't follow the news back then. I was like 17 or whatever. So it just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, hold up. And I was just like, man, this is going to be the film of the fucking year, dude. Like, and I was like really hyped for it. I eventually seen it, and I honestly was a little let down because I was expecting slasher. Since then, completely wrong thinking about it. I don't know what I seen the first time, but I definitely matured as a film watcher or whatever since then, because ever since I seen it that time, every time I've seen it since that, I've loved it.
Yeah, I think it's the definition of what a home invasion film should be.
Yeah,
I think
it
every
really
film from
is.
like every film from now from 2008 forward should, follow The Strangers as an example.
It's hard to duplicate that. Like it would.
Yeah.
You have a good cast. You have Liv Tyler. You have Scott Speedman, and this is before Scott Speedman like blew up in the, the underworld.
Yeah.
Saga.
Yeah, and
so
and
it feels like a really unknown. Like it feels like you have a name to sell it, but then the rest are kind of like unknowns. And then those 3 masks.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
Still trying to make those masks. I'm still working on them.
That was a really good eye catcher right away. Like you see those masks and it's like those are fucking creepy.
Well, even like I'm just gonna say You're Next. Like when I saw the trailer for You're Next, and I saw the poster and all that. Like The Strangers instantly popped into my head.
What happened when you seen the Purge trailer? Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That home invasion films are still copying that because it works really well for the Strangers, and that's how you know it's a good film is when you see other films copying it.
Well, you have to have 3 people in simple masks. They have to be simple. You can't overdo it.
I love the fact that you never really know
who they are.
Not going to say too much, but you just don't know who they are, what they're doing. Are they related? Are they friends? Are they, mother, father, daughter? What are they?
Mm-hmm.
You really never see them without their masks, and I think that, man, it's just the fear of the unknown, right? I mean, it makes that's what people love about the original Halloween is just, well, why the hell is Michael doing this? And it works here too. It really does. The film is kind of I noticed right away that, like, I know you mentioned the editing, Jeremy, but the way it's shot and the editing is just fantastic.
Like the one shot like sticks into my mind is when she's looking out the window into the woods, and it's a pretty long shot that switches from her looking in the window and back out into the woods. Like that entire sequence was like the one sequence that like ultimately scared the shit out of me the most throughout the entire film, because it just builds and builds and builds and builds on the suspense, and because you would expect, we're so used to cheap scares happening quickly that whenever we see something, build and build and build, that's what really is quite freaky, to me at least.
I wish I knew the DP's name right offhand right now, because I mean, dude, he fucking killed it.
Yeah, it looks very good. Also, the moment there's a couple scenes that actually are genuinely kind of frightening. One that I'm thinking of is when she is in the house alone, and she starts realizing like it's more than just somebody like fucking with her. Like it's just a bunch of noise everywhere, pounding, and she's just huddled in a corner, and like that shit is kind of scary, man. If you put yourself in that and like just the feeling and like the suspense is pretty thick.
The scene that I really like is when he shoots his buddy.
Spoiler.
Come on, it's almost a decade. If you haven't seen this movie,
get the fuck out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Go watch it right now.
See, I think out of the whole film, that's the only scene that I feel just, I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling the sincerity in that one.
I could see that happening though. Like, you're like in this fucking heightened state, and then you're just like your dumbass friend.
What about Mother's Day? Not to spoil it, but there's a similar scene to Mother's Day?
But it's the way they did it though.
Well,
like
I think the way that it just
comes down again to what
perfect.
you said. The way it's shot and the way it was edited.
Yeah, edited. The editing right there is fantastic, because typically when you see a scene happen like that, it's set up. You see the doorway. You can see it coming. This, like, you probably know it's going to happen, but when it actually happens, you wasn't expecting it at that moment.
Exactly.
And that's perfect. Just all editing right there.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, shit. Like, oh, man, you're fucked now.
And low characters, man. I mean, like, you really spend the entire film with, the two the couple and the strangers,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. So like you're not, it's not like a, high body count like Mother's Day or something,
Hmm. But I think that's the way a home invasion film should be. You don't want all these fucking characters to,
Yeah, this home
it just
invasion.
seems unrealistic if you have like
Too
9
much of a
people in
cat. Yeah, if you have
house.
9 people, like, why can't you 9 people, fuck up these 3 retards?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We'll get into that later.
So I think the strain, but back to that acting thing. That part after he kills him, I didn't really feel it. Like I think that was the only part of the film that I had issues with.
I think mine was like the running to the barn, like through the woods and stuff. Like,
It did feel a bit slash.
it's like, come on, like, you're out of there. You
Mhm.
could get the fuck away. Just get the fuck away. Go. Don't let them get you. Like, are you retarded?
I like
Well,
the ending
but
a lot.
that's like, yeah, we could talk about the ending.
Well,
That ending actually scared me. That was like the one time when I was like, oh my god. Like a fucking, that was a jump scare. Like, son of a bitch. Fucking got me.
Are we going to talk about the history with this film with this sequel or no?
Oh, yeah.
is that
I
happening?
totally for. Dude,
No,
that's
but
been
this is like
the
the one-
biggest rumor ever.
Yeah, even 6 years later, like people are still talking about, oh, are they going to make a sequel to The Strangers and all that?
Yeah.
I know there's a script written and stuff like that, but I think that's all that's been talked about.
I mean, how would it go? Would you go with, well, Liv, or do you go?
No. You just
all
go
new
with
people?
you just follow new people, and the same strangers show up at another place.
See, I like that.
You do?
But I would like to know what happened to
Yeah.
Liv. Like, how fucked up is she? Like, where is she? Like, is she in the hospital, or is she like live in an apartment on like the 60th floor,
She's dead.
dead bolted, like just totally scared out of her mind?
Yeah, I mean, man, I remember seeing news like every year or so, like Mother's Day or Strangers 2 still happening, update on Strangers 2, and still nothing, that's it.
That and Ghostbusters are the
Oh,
two
don't
most
even, don't
fucking.
even mention that thing.
and Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually happening though.
See,
I'll
I
see
think
what
I
I
don't. I
believe
think
it.
that's actually done.
Yeah, I
I've
think
heard
I,
too many
I have
reliable
heard.
reports that it's been filmed.
Yeah, like at least a strong portion of the film has been filmed.
Well, that doesn't mean we're ever going to see it, though.
I really want to see it. I hope it's done and gets fucking like some type of distribution. Why wouldn't you want to? That's a good franchise right there. I'm sorry to get off track, but that is like, why? How do you fuck up at such a like? You got the basis for a perfect franchise.
It is, because if you look back and think, like what are the monsters or the icons created in the past 15 years or so, and that's about one of the most
Yeah.
interesting, or at least it's an actual creature, like you created a new villain, and that doesn't happen very often, at least in a serious tone. Like you have stuff like Leslie Vernon and Victor Crowley, but it's never done in a serious tone. It's like homage.
Yeah. Whereas the Creeper was like, dude, his mannerisms, his truck. I fucking love the truck, and I wish they would have put that in the sequel.
Yeah.
The be eating you license plate, like that's the best license plate ever.
I'm actually a big fan of both of those films.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, original horror that at a time where there wasn't a whole lot.
Not at all.
And the cast for both of them was fucking perfect.
Like
Yeah.
that, considering the time that they came out, they're fucking gems. We're living right now in the golden age of horror. Since 1980 and 1981. I think like this decade that we're in right now is really one of the golden ages of the genre, in my opinion.
Well, Jeepers Creepers was kind of last decade, right? What year did it come out?
I mean, like,
You mean last decade? Because I was gonna say this decade right now is more like the copper. This decade,
I
like,
think
from-
we're gonna see another big boom, man. I think it's coming.
I mean, the
within this
last thing to
decade.
round it out was what? Hatchet 3. That's the only thing I could say that I really
I don't know, dude.
fucking
I
enjoyed.
loved 2013 in general. I had so many like fantastic films that year. It
Not
was
even
my
that, like,
favorite year since like 2003.
yeah, like if you like think about it from like 1990 or so until 2003 with Saw, and when did Jeepers Creepers come out?
2005 or 2002, 2001, I think.
2001.
Yeah,
So from 90 to 2001, 2003, really only had 3 or 4 really, really solid horror films, in my opinion. You have, of course, Scream, Blair Witch, Sixth Sense, and Jeepers Creepers. And that's it for 14.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
that was 2003.
Did that come out before or after Saw?
Same
That
year.
Came out,
Well,
it
2003
took
was a
him
great
2
year.
years to get it out. It
Mhm.
was filmed. It took like once he filmed it, it took him 2 years
Mm-hmm.
to get the film released because the back and forth between Universal, the Lionsgate to here, to Paramount to.
Well, you just have to think about it. You mean from like, the VHS era, you had all these independent films come out and all that stuff. But from the 90s until, even a few, 2006, 2005, 2006, straight to DVD was considered garbage and nobody
Yeah.
really would want to watch straight to DVD. But now we're in an era where everything that's, pretty solid is pretty much straight to DVD. Unless you
Did
see
we talk about this?
No, unless you see like a limited run. Like I live in Chicago, so I see like those limited run horror films.
You get to see those.
Yeah, like I saw Dustin Mills' Skinless in the theaters, like this one-time screening. But it's like things like that really shapes the genre from 2005 and on, because we have all these pretty solid straight to DVD films that would never have saw the light of day if they would have came out 13 years or so earlier. So that's
you're
that's why I
absolutely
think
right.
that's why I think this from like 2008 on is really one of the best decades of the genre, because there's so many people interested in the genre and releasing interesting and refreshing films that normally would have gotten seen if they were made, let's say, in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Yeah, in
because
between
video
the
in
90s and 2000. Sorry, I was going to say the same thing you were.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The 90s video, directed video was like
The bottom.
bad. Yeah, like it really was a lesser quality film. Like now you get stuff like,
See the Curse of Chucky, man.
Curse of Chucky, Maniac,
Yeah.
Stoker, I believe was direct to video.
Nah, it wasn't.
I
Then
can't
it was
believe
limited.
Maniac was direct to video. That was like fucking. I cannot believe that movie got straight to video. Like,
Yeah.
why that didn't go to the theaters? Like, it's so fucking good.
Like back in the day, like most people saw them in the theaters unless they went to Blockbuster and was like, oh, like I even look at my shelf today and I pull out all these straight to DVD films from, the early 2000s, and they look like total ass compared to, all these movies that have come out today. It's just crazy to think the amount of stuff that's getting pushed out that's actually not too bad. Like Jugface. Like Jugface would have probably never seen the light of day if it wasn't for, this boom of people believing in the genre like they are today.
That's another one I didn't watch because of the title.
Yeah.
But
I'm
see,
just
man,
like Jugface. I'm like, I'll get around to it. But
but
Jugface isn't on the top of my list right now.
it's disheartening though, man. The fact that you can't go to the theater and see like a badass horror film anymore, like it just they're besides your occasional Friday the 13th and
I heard
The Conjuring.
Oculus was pretty good.
it's you can't get hyped for it anymore because like 9 times out of 10 the ones going to the theater are going to be garbage.
Not Cabin in the Woods.
That's
I was
one time
glad
out
to
of the
see
10.
that. I went to see that 3 times in the theater.
I mean, the CGI kind of killed it, but besides that movie's fucking awesome.
Anyway.
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
JP.
I fucking like that.
I loved it.
Thank
You
you.
loved it, JP?
I was going
loved
to
it?
say I loved
do
it,
love
but
it.
I didn't want
I
to
have
come
love
off
for
too
it.
strong. All right, I'll admit it. I do love it.
Really?
I watch it a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, you're the first one who
Yeah,
has
dude.
heard that
It's
ever
so
loved that film
fucking
besides
good.
JP.
Yeah, man. I don't want to get into
It's such
Texas
a good
Chainsaw.
follow-up to the original.
We'll save that one for another day. Anyway, The Strangers,
If
guys.
you don't love that movie, you're not a fan of Texas Chainsaw.
That probably means that there's like 3 fans of Texas Chainsaw in the world.
That's
Yeah,
Because nobody fucking loves 3D, man.
Adam
yeah.
Green said that it was the best movie he'd seen in 3D.
I saw it in 2D, so I can't comment on that. JP, we're totally
if you guys
bombing
have
your show.
anything else to say about The Strangers, though?
You
I
guys
don't know.
should all see it. It's fucking
love
awesome.
it. And you want me to rate it now?
Yeah, it's a good slow burn, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Dude, that's a 10. It's a 10 movie.
10.
Yeah.
No one has
you
ever
got
given a
Jeremy?
10 yet. I give it a 9.5, actually. Pretty close to 10.
Why are you doing that? Why
Why
give
am I
it a
doing
9.5? It sounds like you wanted to give it a 10, but you didn't want to say
Because
10.
10s are holy. We did 22 episodes of the podcast, and no one ever gave 110. The highest somebody gave was a 9.5. So I gotta keep the trend alive. It would be a
This is
10.
my first real 10. This is the first real
What
10.
about
I'm giving
Chud?
Chud got dropped to 9.5. Remember, I took off half a point.
Okay.
Remember, I did say 10. I said 10, and then I was like, wait, no, you're right. I was like, it's only deserving of a 9.5.
What do you rate it, JP?
I give it an 8.
An 8.
What? Come
Yeah.
on.
I give it an 8.
Is
I
this
stand
like
by
the
my
cool
rating.
thing now to keep lowering the rating?
No, I am very honest with my ratings.
Why
I
are you
truly feel
subtracting
that
the
it's an
2
8
points?
film. Well, it's not specific reasons. For one, it is that one scene that I feel is really under performed. And then it's just there wasn't enough moments for me like those moments that 10 films have. There wasn't enough. There's not enough in The Strangers.
You never give anything higher than a 9 anyway.
I've rated a couple films 10s actually, not on the show because we haven't talked about them yet, but I do.
Oh, wait, you did give one 10. You gave 10. You gave a 10 to that.
But that's
that TV
a special
series.
case because that's in the terms of countdown shows. It's a 10.
Mhm.
You know, it's not in terms of like horror in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one doesn't count like so much. Yeah, I mean, I think an 8 is a fair rating for The Strangers.
All right. I'm not gonna
Kind
argue
of,
with
but you're not
It's
really
your
being
opinion.
specific why you're subtracting the 2 points.
I
Because
did-
for the
I did
next one, I
say-
can tell you exactly why I gave it this rating and what I'm subtracting.
It doesn't have enough to be a 10. Or
Well,
not.
that's a great explanation.
Yeah, it
It
just
doesn't
doesn't.
have
It doesn't
it.
have enough. It doesn't have enough of it doesn't have enough of what makes a movie a 10.
So what makes movie a 10?
It goes case by case.
Okay, what makes Texas
Chainsaw?
Chainsaw a 10?
Because it's the most truest definition of horror. It's scary. It is timeless. It is
Cinematography,
one of the
acting,
greatest
dialogue.
icons ever. Those are all and cinematography, the documentary feel, the grittiness, the setting, the characters of Leatherface and the cook and the hitchhiker. The scene with the hitchhiker is just burned into my memory. I can't say any of those things about The Strangers. I mean,
Well, we're talking about two different planes here, JP. I'm not comparing.
We got to do case by case.
Yeah, I'm not comparing Texas Chainsaw to The Strangers. No way.
Yeah, but that's why.
Here's why The Strangers gets a 10.
Okay.
You have 3 iconic masks.
Yes.
When has the last time have we had like an iconic mask? Since fucking Jason? Jason's the last one?
I wouldn't say that.
Leslie Vernon, but
Leslie
that came
Vernon's
after.
solid.
Wait, did that come before or after?
Babyface is solid. I mean,
But
I would
that's
say that
after,
these
ain't it? That's
masks-
after.
What about Sam
Sam.
That's
He's an
after.
iconic character.
from Trick or
This
Treat?
is
But his
all
mask is
after.
cool.
Yeah. No, Sam is
Wait.
definitely up there. But in between Strangers to fucking 1999, there's no iconic masks there. Everything that we just mentioned came after Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got to give it points for that. The casting,
see, but
right there,
that's
gets
my
some
thing.
points. Cinematography.
That's my thing. I agree that they're iconic, but they're not like Jason iconic. I mean, they look great, but they don't blow my
Man, you
mind
never
or
spent
anything.
time over on the michaelmyers.net mask forums, man. Those
No,
are up
never
there,
mind.
dude. They're up there. Those guys love that.
Hmm.
Especially the pinup mask, which, I mean, that's my second favorite one. My first one is the bag one, just because I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
shit.
now change your rating. No, it gets
No,
stay an 8.
I am seriously. I wouldn't really even consider an 8.5. I think an 8 is absolutely fair for The Strangers.
All right. I'm curious to see what you give Mother's Day. Now that
Okay.
all right. Are we going to talk about Mother's Day now?
Yeah, let's go into Mother's Day. Somebody set it up.
All right. So Mother's Day is a remake of the classic Trauma, reboot and reimagining of the classic Trauma film. Film begins with this woman invading this hospital and capturing one kid.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Okay, this one baby, and the film cuts forward to this party that's going on in this basement of this house, and 3 guys break into this house because one of the guys got shot in a bank robbery, and we learn that these guys are the same group of the same family that's related to the lady that we see in the beginning of the film, and it's basically trying to find out. The house that they break into used to be their house. They got foreclosed, and they think it's still their house because they haven't talked to the mother. And shit goes
All
down
hell
after
breaks
that.
loose.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's a good description.
Yep. So right away, man, this film starts up quickly, dude.
Yeah.
It starts up very quickly. You're right into the middle of a bloody brother that is shot. They come right to the house and the home invasion, and the terror immediately starts. Which right away, I gotta say, I love that happens. Fast paced, especially if you watch this film after The Strangers, which I did. I watched The Strangers first. It was a nice. Follow up. A nice, if you're doing a double feature.
Considering how long it is, it definitely doesn't get boring or anything like that. The film's close to 2 hours.
I know.
It's an hour and 51 minutes long. So like it's surprising.
I love the runtime.
Yeah, it's surprising the film doesn't get old and boring.
Jeremy, that I constantly complain about directors making their films too long when they don't need to be.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Never once in this film do I think like, oh man, it's just dragging a bit, because something is always happening. I think this film has so many great scenes. One of the scenes in particular is, and it's a theme throughout the entire film, and it's human nature and people's will to survive, and when it really comes down to it, the survival of the fittest. Somebody will throw their friend's life down the drain to protect their own, and that is, I think it portrays it pretty accurately.
Yeah, especially the scene between the black guy and the bald guy.
Yeah,
you're two typical horror characters, nonetheless. But I think that scene definitely gets that point across. That
and the scene with the 2 girls and the knife. I love that scene because it shows just how brutal humans can be.
Yeah, and then that whole sequence is like that girl's fucking so stupid. It's like you just killed her friend, and now you're gonna run away, and you're gonna get shot and killed. It's like fucking stupid. But yeah, I can totally understand. Would you stay at Moods, JP, if you were in that situation?
No comment.
It's okay. Moods feelings won't get hurt. Fuck you, I'll stab you.
I don't think
Fuck
you would
you.
even get in that situation, because I mean that's just like, it just shows how like those two stupid bitches. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck you gonna sit there and run your mouth for?
Yeah, it's just like go to the other ATM. Like
yeah,
he says,
just go to the other ATM or just shut the fuck up. There's crazy people in this world.
Yes, but I think that that like I said, that's a theme in the film, and I think that it proves once again that people are cold because the girl, the Beth girl, the main blonde,
Mm-hmm.
um, she has some secrets, and the husband has some secrets, and this guy and this girl has some secrets. That everybody is kind of cold in this film, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you're not expecting. There's a lot of scenes that happen that you aren't expecting.
I don't think the black guy is cold. I
There-
think he has.
Yeah, he's a
few
little
that's
too
not.
caring.
Yeah, I think he has a little bit too big of a heart.
Which I think that's a good cut of suburban
Mhm.
suburban families. Like you get these dudes who are like, oh, I do this and that, I go to the gym, look how big I am. But you get one little wiry motherfucker who just don't gives a shit with a shotgun, and it's instantly my head's on the floor. Don't shoot me.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at you. Because I mean, in reality, set that setting somewhere else, and you got 9 people, and you run in there with just a double barrel shotgun, and somebody upstairs with a 6-shot revolver. Someone will take a blown off leg to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hate playing the game of like, well, they should have did this and they should have did that, because when you're in those moments, man, and I've never been into anything, quite as extreme as that, but it's hard to think how you would think that you would think, if you know what I mean. That actually makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
No, it does. But I mean, for the people that they were portraying, the way they acted feels right to me. Like they
It
don't
felt
seem
really
like
realistic.
yes, exactly. They don't seem like the type of people who would be like, nah, fuck you, go ahead and shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And
Where I mean, I do know people who would be like, fuck you, go ahead and shoot me.
I
So
only have
that
one,
like those
like-
characters, for that setting, they play it perfectly. You still there?
Yeah, the one scene I had like the main problem with in the film is when the black girl fucking escapes and the other guy goes after her and they go back. I mean, at that situation, it's like, I know that you said we could just go and get help, but it's like, would they really go back considering how many people are really left there that actually have a chance of surviving?
well, I think the main reason is because they still had his wife. And if you really do, love your wife, I think you're going to do anything to try to protect
even
her.
though after what he's doing, you think that he still loves her and like that.
That black lady was kind of like a turncoat. She was like, fuck my husband. Not everybody's going to survive. That's just a fact. Like,
But-
you fucking bitch.
But do you guys think that the main guy still loved his wife?
Yeah, I think he
Oh,
did.
fuck yeah. That dude, that telephone call,
Mhm.
that was kind of like
Yes.
sad, dude. That was
Yeah.
some sad shit.
But if he loved her, then why the hell is he cheating on her?
it's
Nah,
complicated.
that doesn't have nothing to do
complicated,
with love.
man. Yeah, it's complicated. It's not just like and for one, we actually don't know the story behind that either, man.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting.
It's not
It
important.
could be a lot of different reasons.
Mhm.
Rebecca De Mornay as the mother.
Perfect.
Pretty goddamn awesome performance, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it
she's
rocks the
layered.
cradle, man.
She's really layered. She, has this charisma and
She's
this
so cold. It's
this,
like
but she's also so not cold. She's so endearing and inviting, and then in split seconds, it's just there's these turns where
Yeah,
she
but
was
it's
just
what's
the
funny.
coldest person on earth.
she's like, here, bring this cake downstairs. Oh, okay. Let's bring this girl upstairs so my son can rape her. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
this
The
lady.
fucked up thing was, though, that if they would have all just listened to her, because she was the only one who was level-headed throughout the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Mhm.
If they would have did exactly what she said,
There
I
wouldn't have
don't
been that.
see any of this happening. Like the
And
whole
that's the
movie
thing,
would have
though.
fell
We
apart.
don't know.
All she wanted was the
We
money.
don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, maybe she was telling the truth, or maybe Mama said no loose ends.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, because their pictures all over the TV anyway.
Is that Beth that big of a bitch that she would not give up money just because
she wanted to run away?
Yeah, it's like, what a fucking selfish bitch.
But you know what, man? Selfish bitches do exist in the world.
Yeah, but she got all her friends killed pretty much because she was
because she wanted to hold on to like 20 grand.
Yeah, what a selfish bitch.
It does seem like a low amount, but man, I've seen people, fucking kill people for $200.
Why wouldn't she get a divorce after the house got remodeled and sell it for like, 150, and then that gets split in the divorce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's questions, but
she was a selfish bitch. That's
exactly.
I think the point here is that she's not a good person.
No.
And this film shows that a lot of people are not good people, and that
the only really good person in this film is the doctor. Really.
Well,
when you think about it,
we have Shawn Ashmore, man. He is. I love Shawn Ashmore, dude. Yeah. I think he was great in this movie. Performances all around, I thought, were great. But Shawn Ashmore, especially. You have the three brothers who all have sort of their own, personalities.
I don't know. I thought the kid that got shot just.
Jessica from True Blood, I thought she was a very well-played character.
He was the one character throughout the entire film, besides the black woman, that just really, really bothered me, and I wouldn't care if he died. It's just a whiny bitch. I know that he was shot and he was dying, but it's just like, you just please shut up with that whiny voice.
The thing is, man, I think he's the baby, man. He's the baby. It shows
he's never been laid or anything.
He is the whiny bitch. He's a kid, man. He's not just he's mentally a kid. Like he's they all are. Look at the Adley.
I want to know how the fuck he survived from that, man. That bothered
that was
me.
A brutal shot.
Not even that. It's like, look at that. How the fuck do you survive in from the time that the Beth gets pregnant until she gives birth? How the fuck do you heal up that well in that short of time, like we see at the end of the film? It just bothered me. That's another thing that I just found extremely unrealistic. I know it, and I know shit's not supposed to be realistic.
Wait a minute. 9 months?
Well, we would assume she'd be, I don't know, 2 or 3 months pregnant, maybe.
I don't know. I think her stomach would be a little bigger.
Okay.
I think she was only about a month pregnant.
Okay, so a month pregnant. It's 8 months from the time that the film really ends until she gives birth. So
he only got shot with some buckshot in the ribs. I mean,
yeah, and
looked kind of
my friend, man, just got shot a couple like a month, like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He's walking around, got a scar.
Yeah, but he went to a fucking doctor though. He didn't.
Well, how do we know? How do you?
We
know
don't know he didn't go to a doctor though. Once he got out of the motorhome.
But she says that we don't go to the hospital. So where the fuck is she gonna go?
Where do they? Well, that's the thing. They don't go to hospitals.
But they don't go to doctors because she gave sugar pills to the girl because they don't go to doctors.
Yeah,
not legal doctors.
Yes,
if they know a guy who provide medical services.
If they know a guy who can get them across the border, they probably know a guy who knows a guy that is a like black market doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what I just assumed.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about the cameo from fucking Lloyd on the TV?
On the TV. Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, I love that. Dude, when I was watching this, I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's Lloyd Kaufman on the TV. Like, it took me out of it for a second.
Hey.
I've seen this movie 5-6 times now.
Really?
And honestly, I've liked it the same every single time. I find it just great.
This is my first time watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Man, I just love this movie. And
same here. Like, dude, I kept putting it off because I was like, it's the remake of Mother's Day.
There's so many movies to watch.
And I was like, I'll get around to it. And then I was like, so glad you put it on the list because I was like, now I'm forced to watch it. But then after seeing the performances from, Rebecca De Mornay, Jamie King, Shawn Ashmore, fucking dude from Winter Soldier.
Man. I mean, the scene where the one brother, talks to the girl and she's, trying to be a tough girl and he just completely shuts her down. Like, just like, you want to act tough, and I mean, it's cold, man. It's
Yeah,
just
very
it's hard
well
to watch
played.
stuff like that, man. But it was really like right, like it really like, don't act tough. Like, you're stupid. Why are you acting tough to this guy? That shit don't fly. This ain't the movies. Um, I love just the bipolarness of the mom. It's just like at any moment she can just be as ruthless as anyone.
Mhm.
She's a perfect lead. Like,
Yeah.
she should do so many more. Like, she should be casting, like, every fucking, like, crazy wife or ex-girlfriend movie that wants to kill you. She should be casting. Ever since Hand That Rocks the Cradle, dude.
And then you have the daughter, who is, I guess, what you would say is the most innocent character out of everybody in the film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really didn't like her character that much.
Um,
I guess I could explain why if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't think we would ask, did you?
Yeah, I
You
didn't
think we'd say, go ahead and explain why.
I'm a writer, so I get to fucking take my time and think about things. That's why I've brought that up a few times. But I don't think that she fits in with this family, to be completely honest. And I guess that's kind of her innocence, like what you said. But
there's a backstory there you got to read into it.
Where did she come
kidnapped.
from?
She was kidnapped when she was a kid.
All right.
And raised, homeschooled, everything, never let outside because
which
she's stolen.
You think the intro of the film
is her
actually, one of the kids being kidnapped as a child, and I loved how that all.
But we don't know which one it is, though. That's the thing.
Well, we do know by the end.
Yeah, which, dude, that first kill. This is how I knew I was gonna like the movie. The moment she turns around holding the baby and that security guard gets it in the fucking neck, I was like, I'm gonna love this. I was like, this is gonna be good.
So my thing with this film, and why I don't see that it has very many problems is, yes, there can be plot holes. You can consider things to be plot holes, or why didn't they do this, or I would have did this. But I think if there's every one of those you can look at in a different way and be like, well, maybe this, or, well, maybe if they was thinking this. And to me, I think it's logical enough to where it doesn't bother me in almost every instance.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing story-wise bothers me. Technically, I guess this kind of story-wise. The only thing that really bothered me was that cop. Was the stupid fucking cop that shows up at their house.
Blink twice. It's like, come on, dude.
And it's like, why didn't you just shoot him in the fucking head, dude?
Yeah.
There's a fucking hurricane going on. You just shoot him in the head and park his car, like, down 2 streets or something. Like, this is what should have happened. Then you let him live, and then you get to the fucking, where you run into the same motherfucker again. And you shoot him in his vest. And not the head again. Like, what the fuck? It takes you the 3rd time for you to actually shoot this motherfucker in the head.
How far was he away from him, distance-wise?
Not far at all, like 20 yards, 15 yards.
See,
but he still should have walked up and double tapped him in the head. He should have went up point blank range and put 2 into his fucking head.
See, I mean, that shit works in the movies, but man, you don't want to shoot some guy twice in the face in real life. It's. I don't know, man. I think if you really think about it in a realistic way, I just don't know if you do shit like that, man.
Military does shit like that.
Yeah, but
you go around, any bodies laying around, you go around and you shoot them into the head to make sure they're dead.
Yeah, we see that all the time where people like walk up to them and shoot them in the head, even though they like shot them like 8 times.
Yeah, like, you just gotta make sure the bodies, like, they gotta be dead. Like, no getting back up.
Like this guy did.
Yeah, exactly, because police wear vests.
And how do you know the chick that he shot at the ATM wasn't gonna get back up either?
Exactly, I didn't like that. Like, it looked like she took it in the shoulder on the right side.
Yeah.
Like that bitch got
The
up.
bitch gets shot in the face and she lives, and this chick gets shot in the shoulder and she dies.
And see,
Well,
I
do we
thought
know for
she
a
would
fact that
live.
she dies?
No, but we would assume she died.
I mean, the only way you would die is if you just laid there and let yourself bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once they're gone, get the fuck up, apply some pressure, tourniquet. They teach you this shit in health class still and stuff, right?
Yeah, but we still don't know that she died, Like, maybe he didn't care if she lived or died because he was leaving soon,
And plus, she's fucked anyway because
And
her
she's in the
prints are
middle of
all
the
over that
street,
knife.
She's in the middle of the fucking street. I mean, if he cared about, he would fucking move her off the street, I doubt he cares if she lives if he's, leaving her in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
See, I thought this about the strangers. Like, if those three guys really wanted to fuck up those two people's life, the moment he shot his buddy in the face, just leave.
Yeah.
How are you going to explain that there may have been three people who were fucking with you, trying to kill you, maybe, and you accidentally shot your friend in the face? How the fuck you going to explain that? That would have fucked their lives over way worse.
So, how do you think the scene that we were talking about in The Strangers is different from the black guy and and his girlfriend?
Which one? The
Okay,
one where he turns
the-
around and he shoots her in the belly?
Yeah.
Just the way, like, it seemed like way too fast paced. Like, you were just coming up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
The plan is we take them down.
But
so
I don't think that
whoever's
he
coming
knew
from
that.
behind you. But why would you assume that the person behind you is the fucking one of the bad guys when you know there's only one person left, and it's the fucking mom?
Well,
no, there's two people left.
I mean,
he doesn't count. He can't get off that couch.
Not that guy, but the other guy is still alive.
Okay,
but he's all way out fucking draining ATMs in the house. Dude. You just killed one. You got one dead on the couch.
But she calls him and tells him that they killed him and that he was coming.
Picture this: you're walking with a gun. You have your finger on the trigger. You're scared as fuck. You're actually scared for your life. Okay, you think you've been in shell shock all day. You think you're gonna die, and somebody walks up behind you. You're gonna be a little jerky.
Agreed. After you just get your ears fucking burned out.
But I mean, to make such a nice, clean shot, but even where he shot her, like, it was a through and through. Left side of the abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not an instant death shot either. So the way she falls over and plays dead for what fucking reason I don't know, because she comes out of the fucking house at the end. Like that. Now you're making me pick it apart. I really like this movie.
I have no issues with any of that at all.
Now, I had a problem with the ending as well when they're dropping off the baby. I think there's only the two girls who got out of the house with the three girls that got out of the house with her. We don't see the girl that got shot in the face in that scene.
That's actually weird. Why don't we?
I was just thinking
she probably just hates them all.
This was 9 months after, though. That's the thing. So it's like,
she probably hates them. She probably knows that. No, she didn't die.
Like, I was like, she lives. She obviously lives because, I mean, we see the doctors doing surgery. She was kind of the lucky
one, though. I would have took a shot in the jaw if I knew I wouldn't have to go through any of that. Like, she got out of there relatively easily. They shot her in the jaw, was like, oh, she's dead. Oh, no, she's not. So the rest of the movie, she's in the hospital getting shot up with morphine and surgery.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end of the film.
How long do you think you got to eat through a tube when your jaw's gone?
It's probably 6 weeks, maybe.
I don't know, man. I honestly...
I'm just playing devil's advocate here,
Yeah,
I mean, who really knows where the fuck she is? It's not really important.
But that's
just an observation.
But that's the thing is there's no definite answer, so take it how you want, And that's what I like about this film. There's a lot of moments like that where it's like you fill in the gaps. I don't need to walk you through it. You can decide what happened to this character and that character, and did this one live or die? We never see for sure if they're dead or not. But it's fun. So, anybody, you have anything else to say about it?
I really like it.
It's
I
not.
really
I
like
don't.
the cast. I really like the fucking director. I like the writer. Dude that wrote this did a really good job of just saying, you know what? I'm going to make Mother's Day my own thing. We're not going to go like the original did. We're going to
Hmm.
do something totally new, which that's the way you should approach any remake. You know, make it something that we've never seen. Don't just rehash the same shit.
I love the relationship between the son's daughter and the mother. Obviously, man, this is the thing about the film. There's so many like layers to it that you have the whole moment where the Adley brother looks at the little sister, and you just know, right? I mean, you just know what that's about. Um, and then you have uh, the brief thing on the news where it says the Adley brother is wanted for rape and stuff,
Yeah.
and
I think the older brother was sleeping with the mother because when they leave to go to the ATMs and stuff, he gives her like this weird like open mouth like kiss like he tried to give her, and she turns away from him.
yeah,
And it
okay,
wasn't like a little mommy gives son peck kiss. It was more like, yeah, we fuck kiss.
and that's the exact thing I'm talking about this film is it leaves it open for your interpretation.
Hmm.
That's all you needed, right? That's all you needed to get an idea, and they don't have to go into it, with a big backstory and stuff. Just that alone gets you thinking, and then you can take it how you want it.
And well,
Um,
I mean, we know all the kids are stolen
yes,
because she's never been able to have a kid.
yeah,
So they all have been stolen kids.
yes, which is possibly um, one of the source of her batshit craziness.
Yeah,
So
but
you take an unstable person who really wants a kid and then deny them a kid, and
this is what happens.
yes, you might get a little something like this, or at least the start to something like this. And yeah, I mean, man, I actually have like very little issues with Mother's Day at all. I absolutely love this film. It's a great one, man.
So I don't like it as much as The Strangers, obviously, but it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie.
So what are you guys coming in?
This
Uh,
one, see the way I broke it down, I have to give it a 9. I had to take off half a point for him not for the cop character in general, and then another half a point for him not, dispatching or dealing with him, reasonably with the first 2 times that he ran into him.
Yeah,
mhm.
I do agree that is um in terms of like those moments that you have in home invasion films where like characters should do this or should do that. I think that's one of the most bad ones. Just I
Yeah, because he
agree.
obviously has no problem killing people, so just fucking, it's a cop anyway. Like, just fucking shoot. What the fuck are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Like,
So
this is the one that could bring down the whole operation. That's the one guy that you should want to shoot.
I do
Mhm.
agree, Jeremy.
But yeah, 9 out of 10.
9. I'm gonna give this one an
9.
8. An 8. I took off points for everything that I discussed throughout our discussion. I didn't like it as much. Obviously, I didn't like it as much as Strangers. But it's better than most home invasion films that have came out. Since
Yeah.
2010. Seems to be an influx of them lately. It's just like all these possession films we're starting to see. At least I've seen on the independent market a lot more home invasion films popping up lately as well. So
Yeah, there have
this
been
one's this
more.
one's actually pretty solid, but it has a few issues that bothered me. So, but I give it an 8. Still a solid film. Everybody should watch it. It's good.
That's
I,
a good rating.
I
Yeah, I can
love
see it.
Mother's Day. I give it a 9.
A 9. How the hell do you like that movie more than Strangers, man?
I think
Yeah, that
technically
is odd.
the Strangers is a better made film, but I think in terms of the amount of entertainment and the amount of scenes that really are the activeness of the film and the scenes that really uh, or the better scenes in the film. There's a lot of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, it just, to me, it's personally more entertaining, and I had a lot more of those, like the moment with the two girls and the knife when I first seen that, and the moment when I first seen that the mother was gonna like fucking take the girl and like let her like half dead son rape. It's weird that he's like half dead. First of all, you know?
Yeah.
And she was pulling out his stick. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god,
and
man,
you
what are
know,
you
it's
doing?
just like very uncomfortable moments like that, and then
I thought for a moment he wanted her to like blow him or something.
and then the pool ball smashing the hands in the hot water. I mean, there's just a lot of moments here that just really uh, were impressive to me. Got, you know, made me feel certain ways, whether it's, you know, uncomfortable or, you know, brutal or cold or
Well, of
whatever.
course, it's freaking Darren Lynn Brownsman, so you know what you're gonna get with him always.
Yeah, you know, the performances were great, and
Which I still have to. Have you seen, Rich? Have you seen freaking The Devil's Carnival yet? Which
Yeah,
is
dude. I like
isn't
that.
it good?
Oh fuck yeah.
You have to check it out.
I mean, if you like musical type shit,
Mm-hmm. Well, he did opera. He fucking did that other one, fucking Robo Geisha. Is that what it's called?
you mean genetic
Robo-
opera?
Yeah,
You mean Repo the Genetic Opera?
yeah.
Yeah, which is it's an okay film, but
Mm-hmm.
fucking Devil's Carnival, man, really, really good.
Nice.
Because I do like my like horror operas, like Phantom of the Opera and shit like that. Huge Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies fan. So yeah, like that shit I get really into. What I left out was the runtime of this movie. Why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because JP's like, you know, he hates how they run too long. I hate when they don't run long enough because I'm like, you know, they're always rushing and like trying to get to where they want to go within 84 minutes. And I always hated that. I'm like, why can't you give me 2 full hours and, you know, flesh out this story so everything is fucking told? And that's exactly what they did here. He was like, I got a 2-hour runtime. I'm going to go each and every way where each character's, you're going to see what's going on in their head, their fucking little story. And I was like, good. A big, huge fucking story. Finally.
See, you know, I agree with what you said, though, because I hate also when the runtime's too short. But what bothers me more is when they pad it and it's a story that isn't 90 minutes long. It's not a 90-minute story. It's a 70-minute story.
Gravity.
Because movies are 90 minutes,
That
they
movie
pad it
shouldn't
out to
have
be
been
90
made.
minutes. And it just really bugs me when a film, especially if it goes over 90 minutes, and it's like, you really think there was nothing you could have cut out of your film? You know, if it's a film that is what was one we was talking about? I forget. But it just annoyed me so much.
Camp Out Nightmare.
But yeah, it was back on the 22 shots. I've talked about it a couple
Beneath
times.
the Mississippi. Isn't that movie like 2 hours
Well,
almost?
that shit was, I can't even talk about that movie. It's just pure garbage.
I agree. I have watched it.
Oh my god. It's not a movie. I'm almost sure that it's not. So yeah, Mother's Day, Strangers, both high quality home invasion films and high quality films in general. I think everybody would like these, you know? I mean, I know there's a handful of people that think The Strangers is boring, but if you think The Strangers is
Who are these
boring,
people?
Yeah, man, that movie scared me so much. Like I said,
Give me their names. They are getting a message from me.
if you think The Strangers is boring, it's probably because you don't like the slower films, the slower kind of burns, which you know, is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, you guys.
Not really. I think we summed everything up.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
No problem.
It was a lot of fun. These 2 movies were fun. Definitely 2 fun movies that I really enjoyed, especially since Mother's Day, since I've never seen it. So it gave me an opportunity to pull it off the shelf and actually watch it. So
Yeah. You know, normally I would try to break these things down a little bit more, but I'm really running on E. I just had a 7-day work week that just ended today. It was terrible.
Mm.
So be sure to subscribe to JP's channel. Subscribe to
Jeremy's channel.
Jeremy's. Yeah, I was going to say NES ruler. I didn't know which way you wanted me to go with that.
Everyone
Either
calls me
way,
Jeremy.
It always confuses me.
Everyone knows me as Jeremy, so you can just call me that. It's fine.
Check out the
AKA the
site.
Jew.
Yeah,
The
aka
Jew.
the Jew. And you have to compare JP as JP, aka the man who hates Pee Wee Herman, because JP hates Pee Wee Herman.
You
That
hate
is
Pee Wee
true.
Herman. Why do you hate Pee Wee Herman?
Because he's annoying and it's a terrible character.
Are you serious? Are
Dead.
you being serious?
Dead.
He is being serious. It
That's
blows
serious.
my mind. But
You
he
don't
likes,
like Zombie or fucking Cherry or.
but he likes him in the Tripper. But he doesn't like Pee Wee Herman. Just
Well,
fucking
that's Paul
blows my mind.
Rubin.
But it doesn't matter. It still blows my
Same
fucking
person.
mind. Blows my
The
mind.
Tripper was really good.
The Tripper, Blow. I like him in those movies. I never just. I can't believe you're making me talk about this again. But I never understood what anybody likes about it. I literally don't get it. Something's obviously wrong with me because I'm definitely in the minority. I just don't get it. I don't understand what is funny or fun or cool about it. It completely flies over my head.
It was
Just
a
because
good
a show
show to grow up
Yeah.
on.
Because a show like that would never have gotten made today. There's so many hidden references that are totally, fucked up that would never be shown in kid TV shows today.
Yeah, but that's kid TV in general, man.
Yeah. I mean, a guy fucking puts on giant underpants and swings from them. It's like, that would fucking never be made today, man. It's just fun.
Like the Pee Wee Herman movies. Like, how do you not like
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah,
I
or
also-
Big Top Pee Wee. Like, geez,
I have to be a
those
little-
are classics.
A little honest here too. My exposure to Pee Wee Herman is very limited. I mean, I've seen I believe that I've seen the Big Adventure movie and a handful of episodes of the TV show when I was a kid, but it was never something that I was into.
I have the Pee Wee's Playhouse sitting here on my shelf with all the
Same.
characters.
I have all of them in the box. Yeah.
My characters aren't in the box, but the Playhouse is.
Yeah.
I still have the box for the Playhouse. I have Cherry in the
Nice.
box. I have Pee Wee.
Did have Billy
Full
Baloney?
string. No, he's
Oh, I've
too
been wanting-
expensive.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get him.
I
Look at
wanted to
JP
buy him, but-
laughing.
Yeah,
We got all our
And,
nerds.
I got Peridactyl in the box.
Nice.
Perry
Which-
fucking Dactyl.
Dude,
Terry's
this
the man.
thing's fucking falling apart too because he's made out of mostly vinyl.
Yeah.
So he's peeling really bad, but I got him maintained, so hopefully he doesn't deteriorate anymore.
Hey, a fellow Pee Wee lover. Don't you love that, JP?
I'm
And
I'm
what else
literally
do I
sitting
have?
here just shaking my head. Like this is kind of crazy to me.
Oh, dude, I have almost every Pee Wee toy you could think of, like in the small action figure size.
I still
Yeah,
need
I
to get.
have them all.
I still need to get King of Cartoons. That's the only one I don't. Or I still have to get Rita the Male Lady.
Oh, I don't have that.
Yeah, the
I
small
didn't even know
figure.
they had a figure for her.
Yeah,
But
She's
everybody else I think I have 2 King of Cartoons.
like she's like the hardest one to get, but
We have just exceeded like the maximum level of nerdness I could take. This is ridiculous.
Pee Wee is
Come
cool.
on, man.
He's so cool.
he's
What?
the man.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
He is, man.
Um,
Just because you don't understand.
I don't, man. I don't get it. I do not get it. I never have, and I probably never will.
Well, maybe you should
How
make a
don't you
giant.
enjoy the secret word?
Yeah, make a giant tinfoil ball. Then you'll understand.
Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho.
Mm-hmm.
These are words to live by, JP.
Okay. I honestly don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even.
And I have a Pee Wee ventriloquist doll.
Nice. JP, are you totally out of your comfort zone?
I don't know what to say. I have a Pee Wee.
Nice.
You have a Pee Wee?
Yeah. I'm sure that has to be a thing, right?
I'm thinking of. Never mind. So that's our show.
Yep. We ended it with some Pee Wee talk. And
What's next week, guys? What's next week on the show? I know Mr. Moods is joining you. What are you guys doing next week?
I believe we were doing baby horror.
Nice. Are you doing
Oh,
Grace?
shit.
Doing
Yeah,
Grace?
Grace.
Yeah.
Grace.
What else?
It's a toss-up between two films. It depends if Moods' copy arrives in time, I guess.
That's right. I know.
Well, I have no way of seeing that one that you picked that was like from '77.
I'll find you a link somewhere.
Is Grace any good, dude?
You can probably rent it, okay? So yeah, that wraps up the show. Closing statements, gentlemen. Anything to plug or anything?
I want to plug Paul Rubin because he is the coolest.
And he did not jack off in the movie theater. I repeat, he did not jack off in the movie theater. He got framed, motherfuckers. Framed.
Dude, check out Pee Wee Herman Broadway.
We are not talking about Pee Wee Herman again. We are just not. We are done. We are through. We are out.